Welcome to the Crazy Kitchen where anything goes. Today I have a special treat for you. I'm here at Aling's Chinese Indian Fusion Restaurant to talk to the chef, try some of the food and what I call an enter review. So let's get started. See you inside. So first of all, Chef.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you for having us. So why don't you tell us your name?
My name is Gary Yan, and master chef with my sister-in-law, Aling that's my wife's sister.
Right.
And we are both what we call the Chindians. We are Chinese, but we are born and raised in India.
That was the basis of you started this restaurant, right?
Yes.
And give us a little bit of your history, growing up in these areas.
Well, I was born and raised in India and been in the restaurant business for almost 30 years. And we owned a restaurant back in India since 1947. Great-grandpa opened it, and then my sister-in-law's father managed a couple of the restaurants back in Bombay, which is
so what made you decide to cook this style of food?
Well, what has happened is the passion for cooking was inherited out of default. I was born into a family, and so was my sister-in-law.
Right.
So we were both born into this kind of family. She is very passionate about the side of cooking, and so am I.
Right.
I mean, passion is something that cooks, you can train them.
Right.
But if you do not have the passion that you want to do this, just as how you like to try different dishes, like I've heard,
right,
that is one of the things that we like to try. And that's why it is important that when you have passion, you learn the cooking, and then you're born in a Chinese family, you know the Chinese herbs and spices.
Right.
And then you were born in India, then you know what that is. And
right,
when you mingle that, it is very difficult, mind you.
Yes.
But because you're born and raised in that and you eat that, so it becomes a lot easier.
Wow. Yeah, that's something that I thought about myself. How hard was it to get those two spices, those two backgrounds to mingle together and come out into a good dish?
Well, being born up in India, we did not find it difficult. I mean, thank God, my sister-in-law and myself, she has a very good palate, a very sharp palate. And we try different things. We know what soya sauce tastes like, and we know what some of the Indian ingredients would taste like. But there's not a lot of Indian spices that is used in it. When it first started, when we started making the normal Chinese food, Chinese food on the whole is a little on the bland side compared to the Indian Chinese food that we eat. What we do in our Indian Chinese food is basically have a lot of fresh garlic, a lot of fresh ginger root, a lot of fresh onions and cilantro that we saute and we caramelize the onions and chilies in some of the items.
Right.
So then what happens is now it's caramelized. Then you add a great tasting Chinese sauce which is ready made to that. So now what happens, a great tasting Chinese sauce is on steroids, so to say. And that's what gives it the flavor. And then we add other spice, and there's a lot of TLC, a lot of love and care that is put to these sauces, and then develop the sauces with my sister-in-law.
So for someone who has a passion for cooking and who's just getting started, what would you suggest they do to make a successful career?
Well, I think one of the things is the passion has to be there.
Right.
But we strongly recommend that you enroll in a culinary school, and experience the characteristics of various spices,
right,
under different weather conditions. Secondly, I would definitely recommend that you follow and study the work of some great chefs, and find a mentor and intern with them, and then you can form your style. You pick up the best and form your style.
So there's a few Indian fusion restaurants around. I've only been to this one. I love this one. But what sets you apart from the other ones?
Well, first of all, this is totally family owned. For my sister-in-law and myself in the kitchen,
right,
my wife and my brother-in-law in the front counter, on the weekends obviously.
Okay.
And her background of the knowledge combined with creativity in the dishes, we try out different experiments and we try out different items. And that is what sets us apart. We do not put everything on the menu,
right,
because we want to hold some of the things back for special guests and special occasions. We have guests that come here almost once or twice a week.
Wow.
And they are so, it's called menu fatigue. Then you get tired of the same food.
Yep.
But when you come with your friends, I will introduce a few other items.
Right.
But the thing is, by having these special items, I give credit to the fact that the guest has taken the time and he's spoken so highly of us.
Right.
I want my guests to look good. And that's when I say, hey, the chef came to our table and he had something that was not on the menu. And those are proven ones that 99% of them are like bang on people.
Right, right. That's interesting. And honestly, Gary, that's what stood out to me. The first time I came, you circled the room and you talked to everybody. I appreciate that, especially if you're the one doing the cooking, you're the head chef. And that stood out to me. But then the second time I came, I brought my family with me. And we told you that we came before, we loved it, and then you told us what to try. Now, this is what stood out most of all. My mother-in-law, who does not like shrimp, tried your shrimp appetizer on the toast.
Oh, shrimp island.
Yes, and she loved it.
Wow.
She does not like shrimp, and she loved it. So I knew that you had something special under your belt.
Maybe she was very, very hungry that day.
Maybe
that's
so.
That's why it tasted so good.
That's good.
I have a very good team in the back that makes us look good.
Right.
I am so thankful to the team back there, my sister-in-law, my wife, my brother-in-law, and my whole team in the back. That's also there, my chef, other chefs. That work tirelessly idea for me to go to every table is to touch every table and say, hey, how's the food? It's basically every night they're writing an exam.
Yep.
If something is not right, then I take it back to the kitchen and we will analyze it. It's an analogy where people say, you order 10 items. 9 items could be 101%, like full marks. But there's one item that is not up to the mark. You are not going to talk about the 9 items that were great. You're going to talk about the one item that was substandard.
Right.
I will take that back. Or my mother will take it back, fix it, and bring it out. Now, you're a happy camper, and so are we.
Okay, Chef. So the last question.
Yes?
What is your favorite dish?
Well, my favorite dish is the chili chicken dry and the shrimp hot garlic sauce.
Well, that sounds like something I'd like to try.
Certainly, I'll get that for you. And you should probably try a fried rice with that, to
Okay.
go with that. The reason I want you to try the fried rice, I don't remember the last time you tried the fried rice or not.
I don't think we did.
Okay, the reason I want you to try the fried rice is the rice that we use is basmati. It's an Indian rice that is very aromatic and it's got a different aroma than the jasmine rice.
Right.
And we use that Indian rice to cook it the Chinese way. So you get the aroma of the wok and then you will notice the difference. And it's not as starchy as the jasmine rice, which is also very good. But we use jasmine rice only for a steamed rice. But we use fried rice, we use basmati. Basmati is an Indian rice. So
Right.
that's the real fusion going on there.
Nice, very nice. Well, Gary, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to trying your food.
And I hope you like it.
I will probably love it.